Yo guys, what's up? It is Dragon Ball Legends HD here, and we are bringing you another stream. And with me, I have a special guest. So introduce yourself. You've already seen him in my first video. So yeah.
What is going on, guys? This is Epic Style Gamer today, and we are back at it with the two hosts, Dragon Ball Legends HD and Epic Style Gamer. And we'll be doing.
Yeah. So tell them what we're gonna do.
So I was talking to Dragon Ball Legends HD one day, and we were talking about the Universe 6 versus Universe 7 tournament. And as we go out through this discussion, I want you guys to actually take a comment down below and tell me what you guys think was going to be down in Universe 6, because we don't know what can be in there. We can see Super Saiyan 4, we can see a girl version of Goku, we can see Broly again, it can be Vegito, it can be anything. So as we're about to start this video, Dragon Ball Legends HD, what are your thoughts on this?
I don't know. Super. I mean, the thing is about Super is just I don't know if there's gonna be Super Saiyan 4s. It all depends, I mean, we obviously know Goku and Vegeta are gonna be fighting for Universe 7. That's obvious, that they're the main two, casts of this series, But yeah, that'd be cool if Vegeta learned how to go Super Saiyan God, while if possibly Whis and Beerus train them for a tournament, which this could be likely. And it could even lead into the gateway after the Champa arc into the revival of F, because they already know to go Super Saiyan God. That could actually be a huge what if, and that could be actually a good fan theory, in my opinion.
Well, as I take on this right now, as they fight through the trainers of Earth, I mean, which universe do you think is going to win? For me, I would personally say Universe 7, because like when you just think about it. I mean, not trying to sound biased here, but Universe 7, I just think that would be the winner, because it would, like, the plot for the whole series. I think Universe 7 will have to win in order for the story to really progress. Because I mean, how would it go down if Universe 6 would have won?
Here's the thing, about this. It's possible Champa could win, because gods are in a whole different league than Goku, and we don't know if he's going to learn to go Super Saiyan God. We don't know. But, what I think is, I don't know. I mean, Goku's physically outclassed, in all of his base forms and his Super Saiyan forms. The only way he can even keep up with them is as a Super Saiyan God. And if this is a tournament where you have to fight by yourself, then Goku and Vegeta are kind of screwed, because they can't, borrow power from other, people. So that would definitely be an advantage for Champa. It just depends on what the rules are for this tournament. That is how it's going to go down.
Well, yeah, I have to agree with that. And another question I want to ask you is that what do you think is going to be with the 5-on-5? Like, we taking on Universe 7. Do you think there will be like Piccolo, Gohan, but then at the same time, like trying to take away like from the Z, like just saying the Z fighters are going to be there? I mean, but like what particular people do you think are going to be there? Because I know it has to be Goku and Vegeta, and
I'd say train them. Yeah, I definitely say maybe Gohan for support. I don't think all the Z fighters are going to go, because yeah, I don't know, but it would be interesting if this could be a possibility. I don't know, is maybe that this, if they do, while they're at the tournament, Frieza would invade Earth, because like in Fukatsu no F, when Goku and Vegeta were being trained by Beerus, maybe, this will be like a similar scenario after they've become a Super Saiyan God. That could be possible, as if Frieza attacks Earth. That could be possible.
Yeah,
and that could lead to the next arc.
There was so many theories on how Universe 6 doesn't have an Earth or something like that, or like Champa could be lying to them or something like that. Or I mean, what if that's like the thing, because we don't know what's in Universe 6, and like I was saying, we could possibly see a Super Saiyan 4 Goku, or we could possibly see Broly. What if we see Gogeta? What if we see Vegito, or people like that? What if they're like one of the 5 people who are going to fight?
Yeah, it'd be cool to see fusions being brought back because fusions kind of were. Toriyama really just brought them in just for some longevity. The Boo Saga was kind of it was just a kind of mix of everybody. The only time fusions, we only see fusions for like 15 episodes and then we never see them again. The last mention of them was in a fight against Omega Shenron when Gotenks and Trunks, they were like, "Hey, why don't we fuse?" And then Goku's like, "No, it wouldn't make a difference. Gotenks would just get beat down by Shenron." That's the last time fusions, were ever mentioned. But yeah, I mean, that'd be cool to see fusions brought back. Maybe like a godlike fusion, but who knows? That might be I don't know. That'd just be maybe overpowered. So I don't know.
Yeah, and another thing I want to add on to that is I'm really like hyped for this Universe 6 versus Universe 7 battle because I really want to see like who they're going to bring out. Like, will it be another Goku? Will it be another Vegeta? I mean, like, let's say if Whis or Beerus is like, well, okay, well, as we're about to start this tournament, we're going to bring out Goku and Vegeta. Then Champa's, like, he's like, well, okay, he brought those two, so let me introduce you to my Universe 6 Goku and Vegeta or something like that. I mean, it could be an evil Goku or a girl version of Goku. I mean, it could be 100-year time skip Goku. I mean, like, it could be anything. But so many people highly doubt that Super Saiyan 4 will be brought back from Akira Toriyama, but then at the same time, I mean, like, who knows? But I mean, it'll be a good idea so we can get the final answer to who will win against Super Saiyan 4 and Super Saiyan God of Goku, and like just end the flame war.
Yeah, actually, guys, I actually found a pretty good plot hole in the Battle of Gods. For those guys who don't know, I'm surprised this isn't into Kenzenshu. It's not major, but it's minor. Is during the flashback with Beerus and Whis, this is kind of related to it. He says Frieza was killed by Goku, but if we know, he was killed by future Trunks. That's kind of a plot hole in this film. And that's just something I found interesting. I'm surprised it isn't on the Kenzenshu forums because that's actually, that sticks out. I'm surprised nobody's, complained about it. But, it doesn't really matter because, Frieza in his base form's, insignificant to Beerus. But who knows why he was worried.
Yeah, and another thing I want to discuss was that if we see our from Universe 6, do you think it's the possibility that Cell could be brought back? Do you think Cell can like stay alive? Because guys, remind you, whatever happens in Universe 7 doesn't mean that it has to happen in Universe 6 because it could be a version where Cell actually kills Gohan in Universe 6 and he survives and he starts to train and get new powers.
Yeah, I don't know if Cell's gonna be brought back. See the idea of Katsuno, that was a good idea to bring Frieza back because Frieza does have, he does have allies that would bring him back. That makes sense. But Cell, nobody's going to bring back Cell. They know the damage he can do. And he's probably going to be a lot stronger than he was during the Cell games because Cell's one of those unusual characters in DBZ that trains. He's one of those very few. The only other one that I can think that might train, I'm not sure, is, he's the only really major one that trains.
Yeah, but the thing is, do you think he can reach to a god level though? I mean, do you think he can find like some sort of power that would like urge him up to god level?
It's possible. It's very plausible. But I just don't see them bringing back Cell. I mean, he already. I just don't see it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, guys, we're also going to be discussing the first parts of our Dragon Ball Z movie discussion in this section also. So, yeah.
Right. So, we can hit on to that right now. So, what I think the movie will be is that, what if they see another god in the movie?
That would be cool.
I mean, okay, let's say like this. Say if it's another god, right? And, like say if Goku and Vegeta like they go on to they're still training with Whis, or let's say if they're back on Earth and they hear like some huge threat or a god coming. And let's say like what if they had to do fusion again, what if we see Gogeta again with, like, let's say with the God beats them down and both Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan
Mhm.
Goku and Vegeta. Let's say if it was a very strong God like that and he beats them down, then it was like getting very desperate to the point where they needed to fuse into Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Gogeta. And say if he made his debut, and actually what the movie was also canon and made by Akira Toriyama, and that would be a nice thing since we'll finally have Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Gogeta. Will be canon.
Here's what I think should have happened. Is I don't, here's just my opinion. I don't think Toei Animation should have just went ahead and made the first two Dragon Ball Z movies, like, you know, Fukatsu no F and Battle of Gods. I think they should have made them, you know, during Super. That would have made a lot more sense because, you know, they would have had those movies and they would have fit in almost perfectly into certain, you know, arcs. Like it could fit in perfectly to the first arc, you know, we've seen already. And the revival of that could have fit in perfectly to whenever the next arc was. I just feel like, you know, Toei kind of messed up a bit, you know, releasing those movies before because, you know, we already have some background knowledge and it, you know, they're really, it just kind of bogs the story down because we already know who they are and it's just a retread.
Yeah, and another question I have is that do you think the movies this time, do you think it will make sense, or do you think it will just be like non-canon and won't make sense just like the rest of the movies back in Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of trends with the Dragon Ball Z movies. Like 80% of the Dragon Ball Z movies don't make sense. Most of the movies that they made don't make sense. You know, the movies are a whole different thing than the anime. The movies are just add-ons to the anime. You know, they add, you know, they're not really canon. You know, the only ones that are kind of canon are like the first two Broly trilogies. I can't really think of anything else except the History of Trunks and Bardock, but those aren't movies. Those are TV specials, which a lot of people confuse. They think they're movies, but they're TV specials. Most of the movies are an hour long. You know, they're only like 45 minutes, and I think the Bardock one's only like 38 minutes long.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And I wonder how many movies will they make this time. I mean, Dragon Ball Super so far. I mean, it was rumored or showed that Dragon Ball Super will only have up to 100 episodes, or maybe more. I don't know, but let's say if it was only 100 episodes. I mean, how many movies do you think we'll have? I'll say about like at least 5.
Yeah. I'd say anywhere between 5 to 8. I don't think that there's going to be like 13 movies. I think that's a little bit, you know, out of the realm of possibility because there's no way they're going to make super as long as Dragon Ball Z. You know, the only reason, you know, Dragon Ball Z was super popular, you know, was because, you know, just the whole new thing. You know, it also, you know, the reason why it was popular is, if you guys don't know, way back in the day, Cartoon Network aired, you know, Dragon Ball Z. That's what really got people into that, and not really the manga. Not too many North American fans of Dragon Ball read the manga. I just know that, like there's only like a small fraction of people that read the manga. It's really anime that got people into Dragon Ball Z, you know. Super, you know, I don't think it's going to be that popular here in North America when, you know, the dub comes out. I just feel like it is not going to be that popular. I mean, and also there were mixed reviews about, you know, the two Dragon Ball Z movies. There were mixed reviews. Some people thought it was great. Some hardcore Dragon Ball Z fans thought it was great. Some others, they thought it was terrible just because, you know, they didn't like how Gods and Golden Frieza were completely, they just completely destroyed Super Saiyan 3 Goku with ease. You know, that's one of the reasons. I don't know if it'll be popular. That's just my feeling. Well, time will tell if it's popular.
Well, on Dragon Ball Super, I kind of agree with you on that, but then at the same time, I do think like it can be popular. But then I'm hearing that from many fans on Google Plus, I'm hearing that sometimes they say Dragon Ball Super and Super Saiyan God is only made just to keep Dragon Ball Z alive, and whatever, and how GT should have been canon and should have been the final thing and everything. And
Well, here's the thing about GT that I didn't like about GT. This is just going to be a sort of like a mini rant. First off, one reason why I don't like GT is just I don't know, they overpower, you know, the rest, you know, Goku, and they just leave the other characters in just a junk drawer to never be seen again. The only other character that had a little bit of significance was Vegeta at a few certain points. Goku was just the one, you know, like the name says, it's GT, you know. It was Goku time, you know. Nobody really else got attention except maybe Vegeta at only a few short points. You know, that's what I don't like about GT is they put way too much. You know, they just put way too much. You know, of their attention on Goku. And they forgot about all these fresh characters like Oob. Oob doesn't even get any darn screen time. He's just, there's all this build up into, Goku. You know, he's like, hey, let's fight. You know, he's personally trained by Goku. You know, that's just what I don't like is, they introduce a new character. That's the problem with Toriyama. Is if you look way back, Toriyama, when Vegeta was introduced, he was super cool. He was a very interesting, villain. But then, he just started getting outclassed and outclassed. After he became a hero and just morphed into a generic good guy, he got outclassed by every villain. That's what Toriyama does. He introduced, characters as cool villains or anti-heroes. But then he just forgets them and shoves them in a trunk drawer like Oob or Vegeta. That's what sucks.
Yeah, that really brings to my next point. If we will ever see Oob in Dragon Ball Super.
It could be possible we see him in a flashback. Maybe we could get hints that Oob is alive. He's actually, but I don't think that he's going to be mentioned that much in Super. He may be mentioned a few plot points, maybe by King Yemma once or twice if we do see him in Super, but I doubt it. That's just my feeling.
I mean, it kind of messes up because really isn't Dragon Ball Super respectively before Oob?
Yeah.
For the time of
Oob.
Yeah, they did say that it was 6 months after the Buu saga, so respectively it is before Oob. And another thing I want to ask you guys is what do you guys think on Dragon Ball Super? Will it be popular or not? Comment down the section below, and yeah, just tell us your thoughts. And next we'll be moving on to our next subject.
Yeah.
And about the sagas, what kind of sagas do you think there will be?
Well, we already know that there's going to be a decent amount of God sagas. We're already in the first one. We already know that there's going to be 2 God Arc sagas. That's already, there's definitely a revival of F Saga. Even Breeds of Soldiers, they made a small cameo in the Dragon Ball Z opening. So I definitely don't think Toriyama just placed them in there for cannon fodder just so Goku and Vegeta could, look badass while beating them up in the opening. I'm sure he didn't do that. I'm sure that, Frieza will have some significance.
Yeah, and the thing is what it is like, when you look at Dragon Ball, when I look at Dragon Ball Super right now, I think it's just all about gods now. Like,
yeah, I mean, here's my opinion, and I hope people don't get offended. But Dragon Ball Super, the last arc, reminded me of Food Network because they just kept talking about food. Beerus, here's some food. And then Vegeta, oh my God. The last arc was just like all about food. The only real fight we saw was, Goku versus Super Saiyan God versus Beerus. Which that actually brings up a good plot hole that Epic Style Gamer brought up to me a few weeks ago. Is that this is a huge plot hole which may actually contradict the Z series. Is Beerus said he was fighting at 100% against Goku's Super Saiyan God. Now that makes no sense at all, and that completely contradicts the first Battle of Gods movie, and that could actually be a problem later on. When it gets dubbed in North America, that could be a huge problem if they do keep that dialogue and they don't change it to like Beerus. Oh no, I'm not fighting at 100%. That could be a problem.
Well, in Dragon Ball Super, around episode 14. Beerus does go on to say that he was actually lying when he on his way back home. He said that he was actually lying when he said about he won 100%. But yeah, I agree with you. If they don't change that, and when it comes up to dub part,
Yeah,
with the Funimation part, I mean that means that that's part right there that could create a huge plot hole, and it's going to create a big problem too.
It's definitely a huge problem in North America. I mean, look at the Broly charts. Broly just, I mean, Broly just sparked a whole new generation of fans. I think Broly is like the strongest guy in the universe, even stronger than gods. There's a lot of interesting DBZ fan mangas out there about legendary Super Saiyan gods and others. There's definitely a lot. But here's a problem that I have with fan-made mangas. Is they overpower their characters to a degree where the other characters cannot keep up, and they're complete jokes to the main villain or the fan-made manga hero. Just makes no sense. You know, that's why I don't read that many fan-made mangas nowadays, because they're poorly written and, you know, they overpower their main cast.
Yeah, and thing is with that, Dragon Ball New Age, how he was going on Super Saiyan 5 Rigor, when he was a 27 on scale, based on Malik Studios. That means
Now he's
that
like
if
13.
he was still out of 27, that means that he makes Super Saiyan God Goku, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Goku, and Vegeta, plus Whis and Beerus look like complete jokes.
And that's not even the worst of it.
But then a person on there showed me that he got his power down, risen a little bit, toned down some. He's now
Yeah, by
13.
half. It got psyched by like over half, which is good. But Rygor's still overpowered. I think he should be like between a Super Saiyan 4. I don't think he should be make Beerus and, you know, Whis look like complete jokes. And he's almost 300% stronger than them at a 27. That's ridiculous.
Right. And, yeah, but then at the same time, he's a legendary Super Saiyan 5. I mean, he has the early legendary Super Saiyan blood within him. But the thing with that is that his power keeps rising and everything. I think that was the problem.
Yeah, that's why I hate fan-made mangas, is they're poorly written and they don't have any, you know, there isn't actually any reason or, you know, logic to it. I mean, I know he's a Super Saiyan 5, but, you know, he shouldn't be, you know, getting this crazy power increase. I mean, that makes Broly's Super Saiyan form look like a complete joke to Rygor's Super Saiyan 5. Yeah.
Well, yeah, the thing with that is that not only does his power rises, but he trains as a legendary Super Saiyan 5. As a legendary Super Saiyan, he trains.
And this actually brings up another good controversial point for a Dragon Ball Z movie is the first Broly trilogy. Is how did Broly get stronger? You know, the only time we see Broly, you know, getting any hint of, you know, how he, you know, got stronger was him just having a cameo appearance with his dad in the middle of space. Which, for one thing, how is Broly breathing? I understand that he's a legendary Super Saiyan, but he doesn't have any aura or any, you know, energy shield around him, so he doesn't suffocate. You know, that's a huge plot hole in some DBZ movies, is they forget, you know, canon material, you know. But that, anyways, back to the subject is, really, how did Broly get stronger? Did he get stronger by, like, how Vegeta, Nappa, and Raditz did, you know, by Zenkais? Or did he actually train, you know, or, you know, they just bust planets and he just got stronger somehow, you know, because of Toriyama's lazy writing? That's the thing about Broly, is he's so interesting, is we don't know how he got from a power level of 10,000 to being stronger than, like, almost double as strong as Goku during the Cell games. You know, it's ridiculous.
Do you think that it has something to do with his mother?
What? Yeah. Wait, what?
I said, do you think it would have had something to do with his mother?
I don't know. See, the only thing we get of Broly is just a cameo of him busting up planets. You know, we don't know how he actually got stronger. It just depends, you know. I mean, I don't know. I think it's just poorly written writing, you know, because we don't see him actually doing any training. You know, we just know he was born with unnatural power. But anyways, the Broly movie also contradicts another thing. Is also, you know, during this is also with the Tree of Might thing, and this is a plot hole that not many people know. Is, you know how Turles was mentioned in the anime, you know, movie? He was mentioned that he was, you know, he had a power level of 32,000. So if that's true, then why does Vegeta keep stating he's the strongest in the universe? That's just a huge plot hole. You know, that Toriyama, you know, that's just some more lazy writing. You know, that's a problem with most Dragon Ball Z movies, is they're kind of poorly written in some aspects, and they just forget the canon material, you know, and they just, you know, write in a bunch of random, you know, stuff, you know, just to, you know, enrich the movie experience.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, the only two movies that I actually find decent where the villains aren't overpowered and where, while there's actually some decent plot. The one movie I like is Dragon Ball Mystical Adventure. If you guys know what that is, kudos to you. The Dragon Ball Mystical Adventure, it was the third Dragon Ball movie. It was aired right around the time Tien was fighting King Piccolo in the anime. And it was right around the time in the manga when an adult Goku was getting ready to fight Ma Jr. or King Piccolo or Piccolo Jr. reincarnated. So that's definitely my favorite movie. It aired in 1998, and that's all I have to say about it. Good movie, good plot, and Chaozu actually had a purpose in that movie. He wasn't just sitting in the middle of the. He wasn't just sitting, in the TV series and doing nothing, for the rest of the series. And also, that was my favorite Dragon Ball movie. Now we're gonna move on to my favorite DBZ. So DBZ, there's a lot of good movies there. For my list, I'd say, geez, this is a hard one. It's either between Dead Zone or the History of Trunks. Because the reason why I like those movies is the History of Trunks. It was just a whole different movie, the Dragon Ball Z universe. It had a much darker tone to it. And actually, I found another huge plot hole if you guys didn't know. So right around the time when Mirai future Son Gohan was about to give himself a senzu bean, why didn't he just split it in half and give one of the halves to future Trunks? That's just something I don't understand. He could have saved his arm, and he could have saved future Trunks. It worked in the anime. Why the hell didn't he use it there? That's just a plot hole I found. Is why didn't he split up the senzu bean? Like, I understand, it's probably just Toriyama getting old, or it's just lazy writing or a plot hole. But I definitely say the History of Trunks has got to be my favorite. It's just got a whole different take on a Dragon Ball Z movie, because most of the Dragon Ball Z movies kind of have a good ending, but the ending to History of Trunks is kind of a sad, but it's kind of like a hopeful ending.
Yes, and another thing I had to add on to that about future Gohan, not splitting up the senzu bean. But I think what happened was, when you're in a fight, in a really bad fight, and you're like in a rush, I think what happened was, because like we were really in a rush, and in a fight, you don't like think at like certain points. So I think
this actually brings up a good thing. Is there's this thing, if you guys didn't know, it's this Jaws theory. It's called the Voodoo curse. It's where the Jaws, he's always targeting the Brody family. We can just assume that in the heat of the moment that Gohan screwed up, and he didn't think this thoroughly, because he was in a life or death situation, and it's shown fit, psychology wise, us humans, when we're in a life threatening or dangerous situation with other people's lives at stake, we kind of lose it. We kind of lose our sense of reason, and we kind of lose our, all of our,
we lose our mind. We don't think straight.
Yeah, basically, we just kind of forget the way out. We just kind of lose our sanity in a way. But yeah, so we can just assume Gohan just kind of screwed up in the heat of the moment. Even though that's a decent plot hole, whatever. So, what are your two favorite Dragon Ball Z movies, Epic Style Gamer, or Dragon Ball movies? Preferably?
Well, going based on Dragon Ball Z, my favorite movies are Fusion Reborn, and I'll have to go with Battle of the Gods.
So, yeah, why were they your favorites? Start with Fusion Reborn.
Fusion Reborn was my favorite because, well, I love to see Gogeta in that movie make an appearance, and it was like very epic. I mean, the theme music was epic, and his appearance.
Yeah, Bruce Falconer. Yeah. Hopefully he makes the super dub. That'd be epic, because I don't think the Funimation music's that good, and most of the Funimation music is used nowadays in North American, for like Toonami. I'm pretty sure they use Funimation, music.
Yeah, and what I like is that seeing Gogeta's appearance, then I like how he came out and said his name, like how he's neither Goku or Vegeta, he's Gogeta. And the problem with that is that isn't Gohan supposed to be on Supreme Kai's planet at this time?
Yeah, that's a huge plot hole. And another one I also found is, shouldn't Goten and Trunks be training at this time? Because if Goku and Vegeta were both dead at this point, we know that the only time Goku and Vegeta were both dead at the same point was when Goten and Trunks were training in the hyperbolic time chamber. That was the only time, Goku came back to life shortly after, before, Super Buu destroyed the Earth. That's a huge plot hole, like you said.
Yeah, and what kind of like messes up? Well, some people will like probably debate on this when Vegeta comes back, because wasn't Vegeta supposed to be dead around the time?
Yeah,
But
but
yeah, but the point is, even though he did come back and learn the fusion dance, but didn't he already come back? Wasn't that the first time he came back when they were about to fuse into Vegito?
yeah, it's a decent plot hole.
Yeah,
Yeah. Anyways, so oh yeah. Oh shoot, I forgot to give my score. So for the Dragon Ball movie, I'd give the Great Mystical Adventure. I'd give that like a 9.5 out of 10 on the scoring sheet. So that this is only one out of the first 13 movies. Then the second out of the 13, I'd give it. I'd give History Trunks. I'd give it like a 8 out of 10. It did have a good plot, but I just felt like at the end it all just fell apart. Because it just wasn't the Z Fighters getting clobbered. It was just Gohan and Trunks getting clobbered by the androids. But anyways, let's go back to your thing. Sorry for cutting you off.
it's fine. And yeah, that's what I loved about Future Reborn. Again, the theme music and fighting Janemba, how he was like very powerful. Yeah, that just makes me think of like different types of what if it was Ultimate Gohan to fight Janemba, but I still think that Janemba could win. But I mean, like, but do you think Ultimate Gohan will lose easily? No, because I mean, recommend this right now that Ultimate Gohan. I would say to pick Ultimate Gohan because he is stronger than the Super Saiyan 3. But then the problem is with Toei Animation, they portray Gohan like he's much weaker because the thing is, what contradicts the manga, the anime, and also the movies together is that Ultimate Gohan was said to be stronger than Super Saiyan 3 Goku based on what Goku said in Super Buu's stomach when he was trying to take out everyone in his body. He said even if they were to get out, there would still be no way for him to beat Super Buu. And in the manga, he said that they lost a lot of power. But then you have Wrath of the Dragons, where Goku uses his Dragon Fist, which isn't even canon because it was neither in the manga or anime. And then
Yeah.
you have like Ultimate Gohan, who like a complete joke. And Super Saiyan 3 Goku was able to beat Hirudegan easily.
Yeah, well, he also was able to exploit, Hirudegarn's weakness. I mean, it does get contradicted because Future Gohan was able to hold his own against half of Hirudegarn. He was able to hold his own against about 50% of Hirudegarn's power. And yet Super Saiyan 3 Goku was able to hold his own against Janemba at his most strongest, That's a huge plot hole, like you said, The movies definitely contradict, that fact a lot throughout the movies.
Yeah, and also it also contradicts Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks as well because Gotenks is Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks is supposed to be stronger than Super Saiyan 3 Goku, but yet in movie 13, Wrath of the Dragons, he's like getting made a complete fool of.
Yeah. Yeah, he is. I mean, the thing I don't like about Gotenks that Toei Animation kind of did and Toriyama did was they kind of made him cocky. Like Gotenks was a very cool character, but he just didn't get enough recognition from the fans. That's probably why, because in Japan, they actually did a fan manga. They actually did a poll for who's the most popular. I think Gotenks was the second least popular. I think the one at the way bottom of the totem pole, I think that was I forget. It was like I think it was Supreme or Kibito Kai. Yeah, it was Kibito Kai at the way bottom. So yeah, out of all those 8 Z fighters, Goku's at the top, Gohan was the second. They put Gotenks at the bottom, which makes sense because he's very cocky and it's hard to like him because he doesn't really win any fights and he has a really small cameo and appearance in the movies and the show.
Right, and also another thing I want to bring up now, which is my next movie, and that is movie 14, Battle of Gods. Now, what I liked about this movie is that it kind of contradicts. See, this is the point now. It contradicts Super because thing is, Super says that takes 6 months, and now when you go to kaizenshuu.com, it shows like where Battle of the Gods took place. It says several years after the defeat of Kid Buu. That's a plot hole right there because it
Yeah,
contradicts.
that's a huge plot hole. Which, yeah, Like I said again, that's lazy writing. That's Toriyama desperately backpedaling, and he's definitely going to backpedal a lot when that does come up in the near future.
Yeah. Now what I like about movie 14, Battle of Gods, um, I really love Super Saiyan God. I mean, even though some people would disagree on how Goku got made a fool of about Beerus, that's going to happen because we're meeting like far more powerful characters. I mean, sure, we see Super Saiyan 3 Goku get beat, but like not
Yeah,
like that, which was the
yeah,
problem. And from that, I pretty much agree with that. I don't mind how Goku got beat down. I mean, Beerus is God,
yeah.
and we're going to meet powerful characters. I mean, he's even more powerful than Kid Buu. Stuff like that is going to happen now. And what I liked about it is that Super Saiyan God. I mean, like the transformation and
It's
everything. I
really
mean,
cool.
some people would disagree on me with that, and like the God. I mean, it gave you the presence of a deity, like a deity was there. It gave you the music of a deity, and like that whole like that climax, like man, it's hard for me to describe it because Super Saiyan God. I mean, it was like it was like a beautiful transformation, and
It,
how
it
Super
was.
Saiyan God would never be achieved on its own. It's like like a ritual and like a deep hidden power that you're never going to like achieve on your own because it's deity power
Yeah,
that you can
the only thing that
that
I
can't be
find
achieved by mere
applicable.
mortals, basically.
Yeah, yeah. But what I didn't like about Dragon Ball Z, and this is kind of bringing up the human concept, is if you watch Dragon Ball, have you watched Dragon Ball a lot, or no, not really?
No, not really.
Yeah, I mean, here's what I don't like is they kind of shove humans in the junk drawer while they could have made them learn the Kaioken and they could have kept up with Super Saiyans. But unfortunately, most humans get this curse that Toriyama gave them where they can't keep up with the other villains. The only character that got somewhat of a decent, role was Tien against Super Perfect Cell. But then again, he's, Cell didn't take any damage at all. There wasn't even a scratch on him. But, at least, human, that's just what I think. Hopefully some the humans will get, a decent, role in Super. I doubt it, but, I can always hope because, they just were kind of thrown in junk drawer and Toriyama just got caught up writing about overpowered Super Saiyans and fusions and all that jazz, which Super Saiyans are cool, but I just think, having a whole stage of them kind of bogs down the concept. Because the original Super Saiyan, it was said to be the strongest Super Saiyan in the whole universe, and creating all these Super Saiyan transformations that the heroes just come up with in the blink of an eye. That kind of bogs down the legendary, status of Super Saiyan 1, That's just what I don't like, That's just my opinion.
Well, to answer that part, I think because it's rumored that Akira Toriyama was supposed to end that, and the Frieza
Yeah.
saga, Dragon Ball Z was really going to end. I think
Yeah.
that's why he said the universe, and I think like that's why when so many transformations gets contradicted because, but like you got Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3, Super Saiyan
Yeah,
5.
actually, this actually brings up a really good concept that I think we should talk about. Is when was Dragon Ball Z really supposed to end the Dragon Ball franchise? There were many times that Japanese fans and North American fans thought it was going to end because I think if I'm right, Dragon Ball Z started coming to North America kind of around the time GT started. Kind of, I'm not sure. But yeah, I got introduced back to Dragon Ball Z way back. If you guys know planetnamek.com, that's an amazing site, and also Plot Synopsis. That's what got me introduced into Dragon Ball. But anyways, what I was gonna say was darn, I forgot. Yeah, what was I gonna say? I forgot.
Well, you was bringing up the concept about where was Dragon Ball supposed to end.
Oh yeah, Dragon Ball is supposed to end. Yeah. So there were a lot of times where Dragon Ball was supposed to end. The first time we were hinted at it, kind of, was during the Piccolo Daimao arc, which I can kind of get because I know a lot about this. If you guys know, do you know anything about the Piccolo arc way back in Dragon Ball or no?
Well, I haven't really saw Dragon Ball that.
Dragon Ball Z like by Nappa or Vegeta or Frieza. That's why I don't understand. Why didn't Frieza just destroy Shenron, when Dendy was wishing for everyone to get transported, because I mean, freaking Piccolo was able to kill him with a power level 250. Why the hell can't Frieza do it with a power level that's like worlds above him, like thousands of times stronger? Why didn't Frieza just blow him up? But anyways, back to that. There was a lot of rumor in Japan, and there was a lot of speculation around the time the Frieza arc started or was ending, that Dragon Ball Z was supposed to end. And the only reason it kept going was because of the media, the Japanese media. They really wanted the series to continue, and Toriyama, he was planning to continue it a little bit longer with Mecha Frieza, but he was planning to end it around the end of the Android arc. And he really didn't plan for the Buu Saga. That's why there wasn't really a main character for that arc.
Yeah, and
Well, anyways, what do you think? Do you think it was really going to end around Frieza arc? I mean, there was definitely a lot of evidence that built up to Super Saiyan, Goku becoming the strongest in the universe. I mean, this does seem like a legitimate spot to end. For Goku's become the legendary Super Saiyan God. He's proved to be the strongest in the universe. He's learned about his Saiyan race, and he has a wife and a child. This would be a perfect time to end the series,
Well, I don't think it would be probably because as I see it now, I mean, I don't think it would be. That would be to like where to like end it. But if anything, I think where to end it would be around the Cell Saga.
Yeah, the Cell. That's what I was about to say.
Yeah, well, Gohan turns Super Saiyan 2. He becomes the strongest in the whole universe. And let's say if there wasn't a Super Saiyan 3, Super Saiyan God, or anything like that, Gohan is now the strongest. And what happens now is that you have Goku's now dead. I know it will like leave everyone sad and everything, but now you got Gohan as the strongest character. Then it should show like a little clip of when it's about to end. Like Gohan gets older, and this time instead of like going to school, he trains this time. And you see him like he has a girlfriend now, and he just lives the rest of his life. And we see Gohan like is now the strongest character in the universe as a Super Saiyan 2. And that would have been a perfect time to end it. If we see Goten, but then it'll start to bring out like more what ifs, like what if they was to extend it, what if there was a Super Saiyan 3, a Super Saiyan 4 or whatever, or a Super Saiyan 5.
Yeah, here's the thing that I kind of would be interesting is if this is, I mean, I think it would be perfect to end at the Frieza arc, even though I think, it kind of be sad to, leave, characters like Vegeta in the junk drawer only to never be seen again and to never achieve the Super Saiyan form, or Piccolo to never achieve, the heights that Goku did in the Frieza arc. I honestly, everything after, I thought the early Android arc was pretty boring. I mean, the Cell games would be a perfect place to end it. But what did you think about the early, the Mecha Frieza arc and the early Android saga before, Cell and, Android 16 and everyone else? I thought it was pretty boring, Android 19 and 20, because they just seemed like punching bags for Goku and Piccolo and Vegeta. What do you think about the early Android / Mecha Frieza?
The thing is, between that part, I think that's where it kind of, for me, I say I actually liked it because, we could see Vegeta turn Super Saiyan.
That was my favorite. Yeah, that was my favorite time because, with Vegeta,
then he also explains how he became a Super Saiyan, like how he was so determined and he was about to give up and everything and about to quit. And the thing is, what triggered him to become a Super Saiyan was that he thought he was never going to become a Super Saiyan, which he thought he would finally make him better than Kakarot, and that actually him thinking that he's never going to reach that caused him to become angry and actually turn Super Saiyan, actually like that. And then what also brings me into this was is this where around the Cooler part begins, Cooler Saga?
Actually, there's something really interesting I found about the Cooler arc. This is really interesting. Is when the Cooler movie was being aired, the first one, it was actually before Mecha Frieza was killed by future Trunks. And I find this very interesting because Frieza was not dead in the anime during this part, and neither was King Cold. So Cooler kind of going to Earth is a plot hole. This was, I think the Frieza saga took place, if I'm not mistaken, late 1991, if I'm not mistaken, early 1992. But that's very interesting, you know, that the Cooler, you know, movie, that it was actually before Mecha Frieza was killed by a future Trunks. That's just something I found very interesting.
Yeah, and what do you think? Meta?
Metacooler, he was cool, but here's what I didn't find interesting: is Cooler's already much stronger than Frieza, and if we notice, you know, Cooler, he got almost completely destroyed by, you know, the sun's, you know, he got incinerated by the sun. But yet Frieza, you know, even though a planet's explosion is nowhere near the heat of the sun, nowhere near, you know, but you know, I just feel like, you know, Cooler should, you know, he should have been in better shape. He shouldn't have been, you know, just a torso and a eye. There should have been more of him left. I mean, Frieza survived, you know, freaking heck. He survived a Kaioken times 20 Kamehameha, a Genki Dama or Spirit Bomb, a Super Saiyan beatdown, and he survived getting cut in half, losing most of his organs, and he'd have to become like a walking, talking Darth Vader for the rest of the series. And then he also survives a planet's explosion, which you know, it has nowhere near the heat combustion that the sun has when you touch it or get incinerated. But still, you know, Cooler definitely should have been in better shape. What do you think? I mean, you know.
Well, I personally believe that
I mean, I think Metacooler should have been in better shape.
Especially from the first movie, he was like made like too much of a joke when Goku went Super Saiyan, and Goku was like pretty much able to beat him down easily in his fit form. I mean, isn't he supposed to be stronger than Super Saiyan? I mean, is he supposed to be shouldn't he be stronger than Super Saiyan?
I think it was indirectly stated that he was stronger than Super Saiyan on Namek. You know, not Goku after receiving his
Then again, Goku did train though, so.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, what I don't understand is why Cooler should have been in better shape after he got incinerated by the sun. He should have just been a freaking torso and an eye. You know, there should have been more of him left. He should have at least had, you know, a few limbs left. He shouldn't have just been a torso and a freaking eye left. You know, that's just something I didn't like.
Yeah, and I was thinking about instead of a movie, what if there was a Cooler saga?
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
So yeah, do you think it's time to wrap it up?
Almost. Yeah, there's actually one more thing that I want to bring up.
Okay.
Well, this is actually something, you know, like I said, the Cell Games would have been a perfect place to end it. And if you notice how the Buu saga goes down, there's not really a main character. And if you also take into fact that Toriyama stated in a manga interview guide around the time, you know, Dragon Ball Z was ending, he stated that he, you know, wanted to, you know, suddenly stop it. This obviously meant, you know, Toriyama was running out of ideas, you know, for, you know, Dragon Ball Z. So you can obviously tell the Buu saga, if you compare it to other sagas, it was poorly written. You know, there wasn't really a main character, and the main villain, you know, kept transforming. You know, it just shows that the Buu saga wasn't really that, you know, it didn't really have that great of a plot. But it would have been a perfect place to end the Cell arc, because I just thought Cell was such a unique villain. You know, just if you look at his flashback, even though you can't, but most people don't know Cell's flashback because most of those videos have been taken down on YouTube because of copyright. But if you see how Cell, you know, was created and, you know, what it took for him to get back, you know, to the past. I mean, Cell just was the build-up into the most badass villain ever. You know, he just shows he doesn't care about anything. He just does what he needs to do. You know, he'll absorb however many people he needs to just to achieve his goals. You know, that's what I think, you know, where Cell really succeeded in both the manga and the anime. It was just
What the thing is about Cell is, not to cut you off, but the thing is about Cell is that Cell is a character that, like, he's like pretty much like menacing. Like, he will actually destroy the whole planet. Like, he's nothing. He's kind of the same like Frieza when it comes to a desperate situation. But like, what he would do is like he'll let you like build up your power, train, whatever. Like at least for it to be fair. And then he would crush that pride and everything that you had.
Yeah, he did have Vegeta. Yeah, I mean, and the form that I liked the best was first form Cell. I just thought he was the coolest. You know what he had to do, just get back into the past. You know, and if you really look at it, it's actually really interesting. You know that what Cell did. You know, it was really cool. You know, I mean, the only thing is, I think he should have been a bit weaker. That's just my opinion, because he was made with genes of Goku and Vegeta that had a power level of 8,000 and 18,000, and the only real power he has is some of Mecha Frieza. He should have been a bit weaker. That's just my opinion, because he really wasn't that strong in the beginning, but I just feel like he should have been a bit weaker, because he really didn't have that many, most of his genes were outclassed later, because, they had achieved much higher power levels. But what was your favorite form of Cell? I just felt the second one was kind of boring, because he was just a huge crybaby. Third one was okay, but,
My favorite, well, if I have to go with one, my favorite is Super Perfect Cell, because it brought suspense to when Gohan was a Super Saiyan 2 and he had his arm broken. And the thing is,
Yeah.
let's look at it like this. Okay, Gohan is a Super Saiyan, right? Cell is perfect form. So he's Perfect Cell. So pretty much he's beat down Gohan until he turns Super Saiyan 2. And that's when Goku supposedly kill him, which he didn't. So then you got Cell come back as Super Perfect Cell, and it's not, like, it makes it more scary because now he has another Zenkai boost. You see his aura; he's related to like a Super Saiyan 2. Now, how's it going to go off now against Gohan? And now, me personally, I think that another reason why I like it, because the suspense when Gohan only had one arm and Cell, like, he was just like toying around with Gohan, and he had his new powers and everything, and he was just like really like overconfident with his powers.
Yeah, that's another thing about Cell. You don't know what he's gonna do next. He could be training, he could be killing people, he could be trying to absorb the androids. That's what I like about Cell. He's so unpredictable, and we don't really find out his motives until the very end. And why he wanted to absorb the androids.
Right, and another thing about that is that you don't know what he can do, because I don't think, like,
he has so many.
Before he turned Super Perfect Cell, I don't think any of the Dragon Ball Z fans would think that he would get Zenkai boost. I think, like, once he exploded, I think that was the end. They thought it was the end, but then it wasn't. And it's more awesome that he regenerates from his cells. He doesn't have to depend on 18 or 17 anymore. That's awesome. I like Super Perfect. If I had to go with any form of Cell, it would be Super Perfect Cell.
Techniques. He could use a Super Kamehameha. He could suicide kamikaze himself. He could freaking tri-beam. Or create Cell Juniors, which it's controversial if he could create them in his weaker stages. It's actually very interesting. Could he create? Why didn't he create Cell Juniors if he was imperfect? If it could show, maybe it's something he could only do in his perfect form. But that's just something interesting that's never been mentioned.
Because he needed 17 and 18 to create them.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, that's what I like about Cell, is you never know what he's gonna do next. I mean, he could be killing people, he could be trying to destroy the Earth, he could be tracking down the Z fighters, or he could be absorbing the androids. And yeah, I mean, what I don't like about Cell is he was brought up in the middle of a huge conflict. He was brought up in like a huge, kind of a stalemate for Z fighters, because they don't know what to do next. Goku is incapacitated right now. Vegeta, the strongest of them, was a complete joke to Android 18. He held his own pretty decently, but it's proved that Android 17 and 16 are way stronger. So he's just a complete joke in comparison to the other ones. So it was kind of like an interesting stalemate during this time. I just felt like they should have introduced them, maybe after the Android arc, that would have been interesting, because if we forget, that would have been interesting.
Right, so, do you think it is time to wrap it up?
Yeah. So thanks for watching, guys, and remember to like, favorite, and subscribe, and also subscribe.
Don't forget to mention our community.
And also
Epic
Yeah,
Dragon Ball Legends HD. Don't forget to subscribe to Dragon Ball Legends HD and Epic Style Gamer. And if you want to clash with me on PS3, my name is chardy247. And I also have an Ask FM. Ask me all kind of questions. My name is Epic Style Gamer, and we will see you guys later.
Yeah, peace.